Hey, so this is my first experience with streaming on Twitch. The first thing I noticed is starting the stream could be a challenge. They don't make it user friendly, and even if you stream, you have to go into your options to make it so that your screen records. And then even after you do that, it's very likely you have to reset everything, either reset the browser and or reset the Twitch studio, especially if you don't change it from the Twitch studio, which I don't know if you're able to from the app, but you probably can. But either way, there's some acclimation process or synchronization problem, and I've seen this countless times where Twitch, they don't factor in the small minutia. And so I want to get into the spiritual, esoteric reasons why that happens. So there's a few things we're going to get into. When it comes to Twitch, what Twitch is basically turning a childlike app into an adult app, or turning a childlike theme into an adult theme. And there's a reason esoterically why this happens, and it's very complex. It goes to the unconscious mind. There are some problems I'm concerned about for society in the future. I'll get into that in a future video. Originally, I wasn't so concerned, and now I'm getting concerned. But what the app does on Twitch, because there's so many glitches, a lot of people are going to make mistakes during stream. And the reason why Twitch was able to work esoterically, there's two main reasons, but we'll only talk about the practical one, is because anything that's too easy doesn't get famous. If it's too user-friendly, then everyone has a chance to just use it. The camera, the streaming, everyone can find an audience. Now, I have a YouTube, and I had a YouTube for many years, and I can't find an audience. It's very hard, and YouTube doesn't recommend my videos. It doesn't promote me. And the reasons could be many, but it's excuses. They're just not nice. They just say let's give it up to the algorithm. But it's this idea of throwing people into the deep end and letting them survive, which is infused into all the electronic functions available. And the reason why this happens is because scarcity. If it wasn't scarce, if it was easy, it wouldn't have value. Now, that's the technical standpoint of why things are difficult to use and why, even though they're mainstream. And the other answer is because if it was too easy, then it makes it look like we're smart. And the underlying consciousness likes for people to be smart, for people not to look smart. Because then you look more like a child. So that's the secret. It's like anyone who looks like they can't do things on their own. So it's really interesting how that works, because you would think it's a glitchy thing, but no, this has to do with the esoterics of why things are made possible on an underlying level, or why they're not made possible. And it all goes back to what the underlying desire of the whole system wants, the whole mankind system, the whole thinking system. Because there is a system, it's just a thought system. It's not organized, it's not well thought out, but there's some kind of mechanistic workings underneath our minds, and that's what it is. So which one is it more? Is it the technical stuff or is it the child stuff? A lot of these things have to harmonize. They have to go together. They have to go on simultaneously. So to factor in what other aspects of the unconscious want. Like, it's being too easy has to do with the adult paradigm, which is the mainstream paradigm. It being too hard has to do with, the child paradigm. And it's also different parts of the psyche want different things. Like, the mature paradigm wants it so that it's easy so that people can get help. And there's another side of the mature paradigm that wants it to be hard so that people refine their skills. So you see the complexity in multiple angles. I really should put this on Do Not Disturb. There's another factor that goes into all this. Oh, it's like distractions. Whenever you get a distraction on your YouTube, two things are at play. There's the adult and the mature. You want to disrupt so that they have to work harder, use their brain more, and you want to disrupt because it makes it look amateurish. It makes it look like you can't do things. And then there's a third category of technical difficulty, and this has to do with what scarcity is. So there's an underlying mechanism that wants destruction or death. And it wants naughtiness. It wants things to be bad for you. And when things are difficult for you to do, then it satisfies that desire. And it isn't fair, it isn't right, because there should be algorithms that correct for these miscalculations. Like I get a notification, I can't remember that a notification is going to come on, but the algorithm doesn't think for itself, oh, he is in a video, let's help him out. No, because the underlying consciousness of the side of destruction, right, because there's 3 different sides we're discussing, wants that. So if the algorithm is good enough, then that side will get upset and it will interfere with everyone. And then the billionaires who are in charge of the algorithms would say, you know what, it just doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm going to lose money. But really what's going on is underneath their consciousness, they want death. The ego wants death. So the third aspect of the ego is not allowing them to think constructively for the global mind. So it keeps them lower down on the spiral. So that's another reason. But this video is primarily about Twitch, but it also extends to other electronic developmental processes, why things get innovated or not. It's also interesting because the innovation, what marketing is essentially comforting the egos of others. And even though marketing is done to make people's minds feel at ease, that you'll appreciate something, a lot of marketing is actually done in the movies. So, for example, going into space is incredible. Who doesn't want to go into space? It's exciting, it's thrilling, and yes, we want to know it's exciting and it's thrilling and it's gonna make us happy. But what do you find in expanse? You find death, delay, retribution, destruction, animosity, betrayal, political annoyances that intervene with your missions, rebellions. So the show Expanse is showing you all the problems that go on in space. Even though it's a projection of the orange and even red lens, the reason why our minds are open to space travel is because that portion of the ego that desires destruction is interested in that. And there's even another portion of the ego that wants destruction so it can be afraid. There are different personalities in the collective unconscious. And as such, the marketing of space travel happens in the movie theater. And not just to be excited and to see how easy it will be, but also to see how hard it will be. Also to fulfill whatever need you have. Some people have a love for family. So you have a movie that involves a familial dynamic that brings out tears and heartfelt longing, because there's another ego that is an offshoot of maybe destruction, maybe masochism, that says, I want that. I want the connection between family, even though it's hard, heartbreak's involved, because the ego is complex. And so all this is marketing, and it's not Elon Musk's space travel is marketing, it's all these movies. I wonder if he knows this. And if he did, he's probably marketing even the for other reasons too, even the destructive stuff. And like I said, this goes back to Twitch, because the reason why Twitch functions the way it does is because they're marketing for a specific reason. So yeah, maybe I'll label this like Twitch and the esoterics. Alright, that covers that video. It's an interesting niche topic. I still hope you liked listening to these directions that pretty much go everywhere. All the best.